All right, guys. Welcome to Optimizing Forward, guys. I haven't made a video in a while. Um, so let me see what's wrong with this. I think I have to rename this live stream. Yeah, guys. So pretty much what I want to go over, I guess, is what I call the importance of self-study, and pretty much the whole premise of this video is going to be basically the notion that I think self study is superior to academics, going to school, getting a master's, anything. It's incomparable, right? I think, it's like 1 in the morning. I'm just like studying for no reason. And kind of what I feel like I like to do nowadays is I like to study things that I feel like interest me, right? So, like, instead of like watching a bunch of YouTube videos like a retard, it's something I'm still working on. I still watch videos like a retard. But the point is, right, there's a whole wealth of information like libgen.rus. You can work out an insane amount of self-study if you have the discipline. And there's just so much shit you can fucking learn, right? And I think, frankly speaking, I think learning to be an autodidact, I feel like is superior. Here, guys, give me 1 second here. I just so happen to have a phone call on some. Sorry, guys. So, I feel like being an autodidact is superior than going to school. Okay. And you'd be like, well, Drew, that doesn't make any sense. You have a degree, you went to college. And it's true, guys. I have taken an insane amount of classes. I've probably taken classes of philosophy, history, mathematics. So I'm pretty well educated, right? But the thing is that if you have sufficient will and drive, you can learn more on your own than some stupid restrictive schedule, right? Because I feel like what the problem with, like, even for me going back to college, I feel like it's so limiting, right? Instead of like, because kind of how academics works is they give you a whole range of books, homework assignments that they define as comprehensive, right? But the thing is that like a lot of academic work, you're just doing it to get it done rather than being genuinely curious about the material, right? So I think the first one for anybody who's interested in self-improvement, right? The first thing you need to do is you need to become an autodidact, okay? Like, guys, you'd be like, oh, Drew, aren't you trying to like get a master's? Yes. But do I need a master's? Not really. You don't even need a bachelor's, guys. Like, there's so much fucking information. It's ridiculous. Like, right now, guys, I'm just watching like this whole philosophy series because I'm like really interested in learning about Heidegger, Nietzsche, Hume, all these great philosophers and learning about their ideas, right? Now, the other thing that I'm doing, right, is there's not really a purpose to this, right? Because kind of what I like to do now is I like to explore just ideas, right? Things that are interesting to me rather than having a genuine end goal. So I think my purpose to learning has shifted. I think it's great to learn for money, but it's even better to learn for its own sake. I just learn just because I'm trying to grow my mind. I want to learn about new ideas. Maybe there's something in philosophy or something that will teach me about these new ideas that I'm interested in, right? And guys, the thing about learning is that like you don't even really need a reason to learn. Learning is great, and just having these intense learning sessions where you're just going through ideas and examining those ideas, even memorizing certain key pieces of information is very useful because I want to be able to have it on a moment's notice, right? Like one, for example, guys, one of the things I was noticing, right, is that like I get like basic for loops, right? But one of the problems is that like I don't know linked lists, right? So I was like, well, fuck, I don't know a linked list. I should be able to recall that from memory. So I was like, fuck, I'm just going to memorize it, right? Now, if you just go through school, they'll teach you about linked lists, they'll teach you about double linked lists, but you're kind of like on a time constraint. It's fixed. And I feel like that, like going to college kind of corrupts your learning process a little bit because you're kind of being taught from the professor's point of view rather than your own genuine point of view, right? And I just feel like I want to be uninhibited in my knowledge, right? So kind of like as an example, right? So, I in my like 23, 24, I read a good amount of self-help, right? Now what I'm doing is I'm just reading like very advanced level textbooks, going through a lot of super advanced ideas now. I'm looking at more in-depth stuff because I feel like, for example, like in self-help, as an example, I just feel like the information is not that great. I don't feel like I learn anything. I don't feel like like I'm not growing, right? I feel like it's just a waste of my time. I'm just like, oh, be consistent, persevere. This stuff is a waste of time. But if we can work on examining these ideas at a higher level, I feel like I can become a higher level person, right? Because I have the capability of abstracting away higher and higher level ideas, decomposing those ideas, and putting it into my psyche. Now, there's a difference between reading a bunch of random facts and shit just to think you're smart rather than just simply pursuing what interests you, right? Pursue things that interest you and see where that interest takes you, right? A lot of people have different interests that actually have objectives behind those interests. You just don't realize it, right? For example, I started looking more into philosophy and I was just kind of like, I was doing a little bit of tech work, but I was getting a little bit bored of it. So I was like, maybe I should study something else for a little bit, going into philosophy. And I realized I was like, maybe the reason why I'm studying philosophy is I'm trying to find new ideas that I can apply to my life. Because if you see a lot of self-help gurus, they're just drawing from what I would call low quality information, low quality ideas. They're not putting in the work. They're not learning the high level ideas, the shit that's fucking hard, right? Because most of the greatest ideas has come from old human knowledge that is hundreds of years old. It's in books that are 1,000 pages long. It's in like the hard stuff. It's like going to the gym, guys. You can go to the gym for 10 minutes or you can go to the gym for 2 fucking hours and really absorb that knowledge at the highest possible level to where you can sharpen your mind, right? Keep sharpening the stone, keep examining these ideas, really going through what these ideas are telling us. How might I apply these ideas? What can I know about this idea? What does this tell me about bigger things? Always asking important questions. And by us doing this, we can grow, promote more critical thinking, and begin to abstract away what it is I'm looking for, right? Super critical that you be able to do this. And just something I thought about, think about, and what I would recommend you guys do, or not even recommend, just get a notebook. That's literally what I've been thinking about doing. Just get a fucking notebook. It doesn't have to be anything special. Write down basic, details about a video. Because I feel like watching videos with no purpose, it's kind of a waste of time. And I've been doing this for like 10 years. I learn a little here, I learn a little there, but it's just wasting your time. YouTube could be so much more constructive if you know how to use it. Now, if I'm taking notes every single video, then I'm going to learn an immense amount more than I would otherwise. Okay. So become an autodidact, right? Now, if you are going to school, right? Besides the basic curriculum that's in school, why not pursue your own self-study? Like college is great to give you a good baseline level of information about a wide range of things, but it kind of forces you to study things that you're not that interested in. What interests you? What do you want to pursue? Like, what are the things you want to pursue that are outside the peer pressure of everyday life? What are the things that you want to do? How far do you want to pursue that? And just play with these ideas, experiment, observe these ideas. What is it in these ideas that teach me, or what am I looking for? And the old notion is that like, oh, you need to make a lot of money from these ideas or it's a waste of time. Guys, everything is pretty much a waste of time, guys. If we're really being serious about it, making money is arguably a waste of time. Lifting could be a waste of time. All these things could be a waste of time. And I think that's what stops a lot of us from pursuing things, because they're not always directly concrete. Okay. And I feel like there's a lot more human passion that we deny ourselves to do the miserable stuff. There's nothing wrong with being disciplined and being consistent, but you also need to entertain your inner child, entertain the playful side of yourself. What are the things that I want to do? Maybe one day I want to sing. Other days, maybe I want to dance. Maybe I want to read. Maybe I want to draw. Whatever it is I want to do, I just experiment. Okay. It doesn't always have to have a purpose. Like even at the gym, right? Like I kind of just go to the gym. I don't even really keep a schedule. I just go, I lift, and I go back. Like it feels better to me to be uninhibited in my pursuits rather than always having to track every fucking pursuit, because it kind of ruins the fun of it, the exploration of the fun. When you're following a rigid schedule and shit all day, it kind of becomes miserable. Okay. It just makes it feel like work. It makes it feel uninteresting. But like if I have a genuine curiosity for something, there's no like expectation, then I think you're going to find that you're going to enjoy learning a lot more and being able to do that. Now you'd be like, well, Drew, don't you need structure? Yes, you need structure. Do you need a schedule? Yes, you need a schedule, right? But we also need periods where you have to get rid of the structure, get rid of the schedule, so you can let your mind roam freely. Let your mind be playful, let it like observe these ideas and these things that people talk about. Like I feel like a lot of life nowadays, like everyone has like a schedule. Everyone wants to accomplish things. Everyone wants to make money. But I feel like we're losing the ability to be whimsical about life, be free flowing. Like as Bruce Lee once said, he said that be like water, right? Be able to adapt to a wide range of things, conform when to conform, absorb when to absorb, deny when to deny. In the same way with knowledge, right? If we really want to become our best selves, we have to be whimsical. We have to be playful. We can't always expect things from things that we're not entitled to. And by us doing that, we can actually learn so much more, And I think even at my age, at almost 28, right, I feel like I don't really follow influencers. I feel like it's a waste of my time, And it's like at some point, I think all of us, we need to just be okay with following our own path. Like what do you want to pursue genuinely? Stop following everybody and just what do you want to pursue in terms of your ideas? And by you being able to do that, you're going to find that you're super motivated, super excited, genuinely enthusiastic about information rather than just like memorizing stuff for a grade, for more money, because society expects you to, or because, oh, if I memorize all my boss's names and they're going to promote me, who cares about that? Just like, what is it I genuinely want to do right now at this present moment in time? What do I want to do? What do I want to pursue? Where do I want to go? If it has no, what's the word? If it has no measurement, totally okay. If it doesn't lead to anything, I don't care. Just what interests me, and be okay with what interests you. I feel like also sometimes we're judgmental about ourselves. We say, "Oh, I shouldn't be interested in that. That's stupid," or no one cares about that, right? No, if you're interested in it, just fucking do it, right? Like you don't need anybody's permission to do something. Just pursue it. If you want to run, go run. If you want to learn about lifting, woodworking, whatever it is you want to do, go do it. Okay. And then once you do those things that excite you, I think you're going to find that you're going to enjoy your days way more than someone who's always following a goddamn schedule. Trust me, guys, I followed a schedule for like 5 years. Okay. It feels great having no fucking schedule. Love having no schedule. Okay. Am I as productive? No. Am I happier? Yes. I wake up, I work when I want to work, and then I stop working when I don't want to work anymore. Or I read when I want to read something, and I stop reading when I don't want to read it, right? Or I can say that, oh, I have 50 books I want to read this year, right? Okay, so first things first, I put a number on the number of books I want to read, right? So now I have all this pressure to read this many books. Are you going to read this many books? In my experience, the answer is typically no, right? Or you can just read the book that interests you and you can try to get to that number. But if you don't get the number, who gives a fuck, right? You're just going to do what you got to do, pursue the books, and learn. And the final thing about being an autodidact, right, is frankly speaking, I think in 2025, I think if you are an autodidact, you will simply know more about everything because you're not limited to homework. You're not limited to the class schedule. You're not limited to the grading system. You're learning for learning's sake. You're not paying tuition and you just learn at your own rate whenever the hell you want and you keep pursuing it. If I want to study coding 10 hours a day, I can do it. If I want to study it for 30 minutes, I can do that too. And if I want to shift to another subject, I can do that as well. Okay. Yeah, guys, I think that's all I have for this video. And, by you doing that, you're going to learn how to learn. You're going to learn the process of integrating information. You're going to learn about that, just experimenting with ideas will allow you to innovate. It will allow you to be unlimited in your thinking. Okay. Now, I will say that I think one of my greatest abilities is my perspective on the world, right? Nobody has a perspective like I do. Exactly because I have taken the time to look at my ideas, looking at these perspectives, talking to so many people, um, learning from everybody, just absorbing, analyzing, discussing, critiquing, going over. And then over almost 10 years, I think I crafted a point of view that you have a very hard time replicating. Okay. You're not going to just meet a random person like Drew, right? There is no other person like me because of the way that I live and the way that I learn. And that is immensely valuable because that perspective is a scarce perspective. Do the same. Make your perspective valuable so that you can offer something to somebody or an insight. And when you offer that insight, do it for its own sake rather than because you get something out of it. I'm telling you guys right now, just doing this, I feel so much higher at a higher level than I ever have before. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. That was good.